Hello guys, welcome to MindMajix, and in this special session our trainer will explain everything you need to know about the TIBCO BW. Before beginning the session, let's look at the topics you will cover in this video. We shall start with what is TIBCO and continue with which kind of companies domains TIBCO used, competitors of TIBCO, products of TIBCO, overview of Studio, sample project creation in TIBCO, and end this session with file activities. Please check the caption to jump between the topics. If you are new to the MindMajix channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get quick updates about the new tech tutorials, free webinars, and career-enhancing shorts from working professionals. Like and share the video with your friends and career aspirants. Without any further delay, let's start the video.
Okay, the full form of EAI is Enterprise Application Integration. So basically, why do we use this EAI? Okay, so when we are talking about EAI, we're not talking about TIBCO. Okay, so other TIBCO products, sorry, other EAI tools and our other products as well. So basically, let us say that let me go to some paint and I'll show you a picture so that you will understand it better. Okay, so let's say I have something like I have one this is my source, which is kind of based on .NET, and this is my target, which is based out on let's say this is on .NET, and this is on, maybe I can say that PHP. Okay, so this is my source and this is my destination. Okay, so here what happens is I want to share some information from my source to the destination, but what is the languages that these applications are built on? Okay, my source is built on .NET and my destination was built on PHP, right? So what is that we can do to have the communication? So here comes our EAI, which is EAI, which is kind of communication, which will create the communication between this communication between source and destination. Okay, so here it will act as a middleware. Okay, we call TIBCO as a middleware, right? So let us say that here we have some EAI product. Okay, this can be any EAI product. Okay, so now in this here, what I'm trying to explain you is I'm just trying to explain you the concept of um, how exactly the EAI works and what is the purpose of EAI. Okay, so we have a source which is on .NET and the destination which is on PHP. So when I want to share some information from .NET application to PHP information application, is it possible that the PHP application will understand the .NET based code or request? It may not be able to understand, right? So for that purpose, we have something called this EAI, where we'll use this some kind of EAI tools. Like we have multiple tools. Let's consider now we call it as EAI. So it's one EAI tool, we use it, and using this we send the request. Okay, we send the request from source to my EAI or the middleware. Okay, basically my target is to send the request from my target is to send the request from source to destination, right? This is my target. Okay, but that is not happening. That will not happen easily, right? For that purpose, I am sending the information from my source to here in the EAI, and this will here we are handling that information. Okay, we are converting the information in such a way that this PFP destination will be able to handle it or understand it. Okay, so after conversion of the data here, see, handle the data. Okay, after handling the data here, we will be translating or transforming the data, transferring the data to our destination, which is based on PHP. Okay, so after this, so here our destination, so now our source is send the response to request to PHP system. So in the middle, so we have this, right? So this is where our EAI is coming, and this is where we are using TIBCO. Okay, this is where we use our TIBCO. Okay. Okay, so let's say we are using TIBCO here. So in the middle, this communication and this request is handled by TIBCO, which will convert or translate the information as per the destination requirement, and then it has transformed the transferred the request to PHP system, PHP application. So after this was after the processing has been done by the target system, right? We'll get the response back, right? So we'll get the response back. So getting the response back from the destination, and this will get the response back. And here again, PHP request will not be understood by .NET again, right? So here again, the the translation or the it should handle this PHP response. So it will handle the PHP response, and then it will send back to the source. Okay, this is one of the cases where TIBCO or any EI product can be used. So it will act in the middle. Okay, it will act as a middleware between two different types of applications. Okay, so when we discussing about the EAI, right? EAI means enterprise application integration. So enterprise is this is one enterprise and this is one another enterprise. Maybe let us say that this is one company and this is another company. So there is a requirement that there should be a communication between these two enterprises. So so these two are the enterprise applications, and we are integrating these two enterprise applications. So that is how we call it as EAI, which is enterprise application integration. Okay. Okay, so this is about the EAI. Okay, so if just to repeat, EAI stands for Enterprise Application Integration. So to exchange the information from one enterprise application to another enterprise application, we need some kind of EAI tool. So TIBCO is one such tool. Okay, TIBCO is one such field, one such tool. We will be using TIBCO, and is one of the leading integration tools in the market, and we'll be discussing about the TIBCO BusinessWorks. Okay, this is clear. Let me go back to my notepad, and here we'll see uh, yeah, now we have done with the EAI, and why do we use TIBCO and all? We have seen that case, right? So now what kind of companies or the domains? So basically domains are using TIBCO mostly. So as of now, I can say that banking is the major domain which is using the TIBCO, and telecom is using, and airline, and almost all the industries are using TIBCO, but these are kind of very large scale projects. Okay, banking means almost financial, not just banking. Almost many insurance companies use TIBCO, and telecom. You can see that Vodafone is using, and Dubai-based Etisalat is using, and Wind Mobile, Orange. These kind of different types of carriers, mobile carriers in different countries. So these all kind of projects are using TIBCO in telecom domain. And coming to airline, we have Emirates is there. Emirates, TUI is there. So these kind of companies are using in the airlines. So a lot of other companies like so basically you will see this TIBCO related projects in major companies like almost all the service-based companies in India are supporting to the major clients. Okay, uh, so you will find TIBCO related openings or projects in almost all the companies. Okay, so basically the license cost of TIBCO is a little bit high. Okay, because for that reason what happens is you will not see TIBCO in kind of smaller companies. Okay, maybe the project size is huge and the kind of clients who are using TIBCO are kind of larger clients, so you will not really find uh, smaller companies using TIBCO. Okay, so license cost, as I said, it's pretty high when compared to um, uh, other tools or technologies. Okay, let's see what are the other tools similar to TIBCO. Okay, there are not just limited. It's not just limited to these three domains. We have a lot of other domains as well. So just to give you a glimpse, I just wrote these domains. Okay, so what are the competitors? I can say not competitors, similar kind of products like TIBCO. Okay, the major one now also may very emerging in the market in middleware is MuleSoft. So which is also almost similar market share in terms of the market cap in integration. Okay, MuleSoft is there, and we have Boomi is there, Dell Boomi. Okay, and IIB is there, IBM Integration Bus, and we have Oracle Fusion middleware is there. So maybe you can people call it as Oracle Sova. uh, Oracle Fusion middleware. Okay, Oracle Fusion middleware, and we have a lot of other products like web methods. Okay, so a lot of other competitors are there. Among all these things, MuleSoft and TIBCO are kind of, you can say, leading the integration market. Okay, we have a lot of other tools. Okay, before starting it, maybe if you have this idea, what are the other tools available similar to TIBCO, that will be good and helpful. That's why I gave some few other tools similar to TIBCO. Okay, now let's see what are the products of TIBCO. Okay, so the basic, the major thing is, as I said, BusinessWorks. Okay, the major is BusinessWorks, and after that we have something called BPM, which is for business process management, and there is something called BE, which is business events. Okay, which will be useful for complex event processing, and a lot of other products like iProcess and Spotfire, and we have Flogo, we have Scribe, and we have a lot of other products in TIBCO. Now TIBCO is available in cloud for the data analytics. And Mashery for API management. So lot of these products are available. Okay, so Spotfire is for BI, business intelligence and reporting, and data analytics also. We have some products from TIBCO, and Mashery is actually for the API management. So we have different versions of TIBCO, right? In that, in under BusinessWorks, again we have multiple versions. Okay, we have 5.x and 6.x and C, which is called container edition. So majorly we'll be discussing about BusinessWorks here. So we have another thing called TIBCO EMS, okay, which is for messaging. Okay. we have to install this product separately when we want to handle the messagings in the TIBCO BusinessWorks. Okay, we have to link this EMS to our BusinessWorks Studio. Then we can make use of our TIBCO EMS as well. Okay, so these are the versions available on BusinessWorks in BusinessWorks. So basically 5.x is kind of old one, very standard integration tool, and 6.x is the latest. I mean, not the latest one. We have the latest in 6.x. Okay, the current latest version in 6.x is 6.8. Okay, so but we'll be seeing the course on 6.7 because 6.8 is not fully stable. So we are using the stable version, which is 6.7. And CE is like container edition, which is on cloud. Okay, these two are on premise, whereas CE is on cloud. Okay, we have the integration to Maven and deployments via continuous integration, continuous deployments, and we have the Docker imaging, and all these concepts will come into container edition. For you to start with, maybe better start with the container 6.x. The development concepts are 100% same when it comes to 6.x and container edition, but there are few changes when it comes to the deployment part. Okay, that concepts you will be able to understand it, but basically you have to know 6.x better to uh, do the work on the studio. Okay, the studio is also same when it comes to 6.x and container edition. Okay, so yeah, these are the different products of TIBCO, and these are what we are going to deal, and 6.x is the what version which we are going to discuss going forward. Okay, so since we are done with all this, let's go to the studio. Okay, overview of studio, right? Our target is, next one is overview of studio. Let me start the studio. Okay, so in the studio, so this is how basically you have to install TIBCO BusinessWorks. You can get it from the trial version. Maybe you can download it. TIBCO BusinessWorks 6.7 download. So basically it will take you to the e-delivery website, which will have the TIBCO products. Okay, so from here you will be able to download the trial version. Okay, so if you see we have 6.8.1. These are the latest versions. Okay, these three are in 5.x. okay, and remaining are in 6.x. If you see 5.x also available and 6.x also available. So what happening is there are few projects. There are not few. There are a lot of projects which are still running on 5.x. Okay, for them TIBCO is still providing the support for older versions also. I mean 5.x also. But the older versions of 6.x like 6.5, 6.4, 6.3, 6.2, for all those versions TIBCO has stopped the support. Only these are the versions where TIBCO is providing the support. That means when you are buying a license, TIBCO is entitled to provide you the product support. When you are having some issue with respect to TIBCO product, you can reach out to them by raising a support case, and they will help you. Okay, for that kind of support, TIBCO is not available for 6.5, 6.4, 6.3 and all, and even 5.13 and 5.12 are there. Even for them also TIBCO is not supporting. These are the versions. Okay, latest version. These are the latest in 5.x and these are in 6.x. Okay, latest in 6.8.1 is there. So if you see, click here to request earlier version. If you click here, let's see what it shows. Maybe it will ask you to log in, so that you should have the account to request. Basically, if you are an enterprise account, then maybe they will provide you the software. But even then, the earlier versions, as we just discussed, earlier versions as not having the support license. Okay, let's say that I'll click on download. Again, it is asking for sign up. So basically you have to create an account here, and then you can click on you can click the trial version. Okay, let's say, let me show you how you can download the trial version, which is for around 1 month of trial. Okay, this is on-premise or containers. Where do you need to deploy TIBCO BusinessWorks? No charge. Okay, it is asking for the registration even here. So if you see the products, right? Products, TIBCO BusinessWorks is there. Okay, you see TIBCO BusinessWorks. If you click on it, let's see what happens. You see free trial is there. You can download the free trial from here. Okay, so just see how many days the trial is for and all. Okay, the details were not mentioned here. Maybe basically the trial is for somewhat kind of 1 month or something. You can register and you can download it. Okay, this is what it says, no charge. Okay, from this website you can download. You can just Google it, kind of like TIBCO BusinessWorks download. It will directly take you to the bring you to this website. Okay, you can download it. Maybe I can list the URL also. So after downloading and assuming that you will have one file, okay, you will get one file kind of a thing. Okay, just a second.
Sir, is everything okay?
Yeah. So this is how. Sorry. So after downloading or basically if you are in any project, your project team or your company, there will be some shared location and you will get the installation. So this is the installation actually. So once you download your TIBCO BusinessWorks 6.x, right? So these are the files what you will get, and you have to click install this. It's just a direct installation. You don't need anything else. It will just ask for some additional download during the installation, and you can just continue it. And it's just very few steps, like clicking next, and your download will be done. Okay. So TIBCO Universal Installer is the one which you need to install. Okay. So assuming that you can download and you install the TIBCO, you can install the TIBCO Studio. and before that, before installing, better you have latest Java. Okay, because TIBCO BW 6.x is completely Studio is built on Java. It's an Eclipse based IDE. So it's better to have latest version of Java, because even to work on EMS also you would require Java. So for that reason, better you try to install latest version of Java before installing the TIBCO BusinessWorks Studio. Okay, so latest version of Java, then you install TIBCO BusinessWorks Studio, then we are good to open our studio. Okay, let's say I'll open the studio here. Okay, since I already have the installation done and I'm using it, so let us say, okay, I created something like fundamentals. I'm creating a new workspace called fundamentals. So let's see. Okay, sometimes you may get some few warnings or something, you can ignore. And this is how your workspace will open. You see users, and this is system name, and fundamentals are there, right? So this is the workspace location. And you just click on this workbench. This is the studio, how it opens. Since we don't have any kind of project available right now, it is completely blank, right? So basically this, just a second. Okay, so this is the this is how our studio will open. So here this is the project explorer, right? So we have to create the project here. I mean, not here. Whatever the project that you create, that will be visible here. Okay, and this is the design project editor or something. Okay, you can say that design panel or project editor. You can create, develop that or design the project or the process here. Okay, this is called the design panel. You see here it says the design, right? So here you can develop your processes, and here it says process, problems, BW, help, and console, right? So here you will have the general information or configurations, and everything will be done here. While debugging, you will see the debug log in the console, and if you have any problems or the errors in your project, you will see the problems here, and general configurations will be done in the properties tab. Okay, and this is the file explorer. Okay, so you can browse your projects, old projects from your local system, and you can refer them. Okay, so these are how these are the 4 panels available in our studio. And okay, let's create a new project now. So after that, I'll show you the debug config, debug mode, and all. Okay, so if you see, if any of you are already aware of, I hope everyone tried some, at least the basic Java, you must have seen the Eclipse IDE, right? So it looks exactly the same. Okay, your Eclipse IDE will also look exactly the same. Okay, so to create a project, to create a new project, just click on File. Okay, and click on New Project. Okay, this is the window you will get when you click on New Project, and then just go to the BusinessWorks and BusinessWorks application module. So you can create both application, BusinessWorks application or BusinessWorks application module. Anything is fine. Okay, so few people, few projects use BusinessWorks application, and few projects use BusinessWorks application module as well. So okay, that's not a problem. You can use any of these. Okay, let's say I'll continue. I'm clicking next. So it says that project name, I need to give the project name. So what is the project name? I'll say fundamentals underscore, okay, fundamentals 1. Okay, this is my project name. Okay, it says the create empty process. There is a checkbox selected, so it will create a new empty process with a name called process also. Okay, I'll click next, and these are the folders that will be created while generating the, these are the folders that will be created automatically when we are uh, creating a new project. Okay, so you can directly click next or finish, anything is fine, because these are the folder names. If you want to change, you can edit them. Basically just go with the default and click on finish. Okay, now you see whatever the folder structure where we have seen while creation of a process, right? We see that same structure. But if you see, I have created one project, but I have 2 folders, right? Fundamentals 1 and fundamentals 1.application. So this is how a project will be created. Every project will have 2 folders for an application. Okay, in TIBCO BusinessWorks 6. Okay, so this is where we will be developing, designing our process and adding the adding the schemas or whatever, any resources that are required. Everything will be done in this fundamentals 1, and this fundamentals 1.application will be having the complete package of the entire project. Okay, you have the properties, includes, and overview, the complete overview, and it will package everything in the application. Okay, so if you see the processes folder, our empty process was created with process name, just a process. Okay, and there seems to be some error, right? There seems to be some error. So what if you can, as I said, we see the errors in the problems tab. If I can go to the problems tab, it says a process property configuration error. Okay, what is it? Says process configuration error. You see, wherever we have this cross symbol, that means there is an error. So it says that the process must be implemented with a process starter or a process service. Okay. There should not be an empty process in a project, right? So what is the purpose of creating a project? To design something. So as of now, we have not designed anything. So that's the reason why it says that the process must be implemented with a process starter or a process service. So as it says with a process starter, let us try to add some activity which is called a process starter. Okay, we'll discuss again about the process starters and all. Okay, now I have added one process starter. Now I saved it. The moment I saved it, the error was gone from here. There is no cross and everything was clear. You see, there is no error, right? So that means every process in TIBCO BusinessWorks 6 must have a process starter, or we have to implement that process as a service or something, a SOAP service or REST service. Then otherwise it will show an error. Okay. So now that we have seen how to create a new process, new project, so we'll in BW5, okay, in BW5 you can say I can say that there is no folder structure. Okay, it depends on your requirement and or how you want to manage your process or the project. You create your project folders as per your requirement or as you wish. But here when it comes to BusinessWorks 6, the folder structures are predefined. So these folders are available automatically during the time that you are creating a new project. Okay, so under the processes folder, you will have your process. So if you want to create a new process, you will create a new process here only. Okay, you can right click and go to the process and click on the new process. The same way, if I go to the service descriptors and right click on it, if I go to new, it will not show you any process creation, right? It is just showing you the creation of the digital file and the file folder STL file and all. It's not showing any process creation, right? So by seeing this folder structure, the processes will be available only in the processes folder. Similarly, any kind of visuals, okay, concrete visual file or SQL file, any other things will be created only in the service descriptors. If you click on the resources again, these are the resources that can be available or created inside this resources folder and nothing. So if you create any resource, it will automatically go into the resources folder itself. Similarly, in the projects we might be using the schemas and all. The schemas will be available in this schemas folder. And module descriptors, we have some module properties, and if you have any dependencies, we can see that dependent files or dependent modules inside this module descriptors. Okay, and we'll see this shared variables and what is the shared variable concept and all we'll discuss further. Okay, and combining all these things, it will package everything into a unit and you will have this overview. And this is a place where you will have everything includes, means if you are including anything inside this application, any other shared module or any other custom functions or anything that will be available in this includes. And the properties are something like we have a concept of module properties in BusinessWorks 6. We will discuss it in the coming sessions. Okay, for now this is how we'll be creating a new project in TIBCO BusinessWorks 6. Okay, so hope this is clear, and let's so Audio Studio was done and creation of a simple project was done. Let's try to, so as of now, project we have just created a new project, but nothing has been implemented. So let us say I'll create a new process. Okay, so what is a new process? Okay, so I want to create a process which will create some file or write some data into the file, right? write some data into the file and read the existing files or copy the files from one location to another location. So these kind of activities are there, and we can do that using that activities. Let us say if you are going into a project which deals with the files, okay, there is a requirement that you need to generate a file in specific location, or you have a file in that location and you want to read that content that was present in that location. So all these things are there. So we have some we have a palette called file palette. Okay, so these are the activities. Okay, we call these as activities. Okay, timer is one activity. Similarly, we have multiple activities under file palette. Okay, under file palette we have multiple activities. Okay, we have copy file, create file, file polar, and these all are dealing with the all these things are all these activities are dealing with the handling the files. Okay, so we don't need to come to this add activity every time. We have another option here which is called palettes tab is here itself. Okay, I can open this file. You just need to double click on file and you have this file options, whatever the file activities that I have. So let's say I want to drag and drop I want to create a file. So you just select it and drag and drop. That's it. It will just bring the create file from here to here. Okay, so for now I just need one create file. So I can use a create file. Okay, so what is this create file doing? So create file will create a file in your system. Okay, whatever the kind of file that you want XML file, CSV file, or text file, or a document file, or a PDF, whatever the format, it will create that particular file based on the location and the file that you have provided, or the file name that you have provided. If you see this create file, every time whatever the activity you are using, this properties tab is very important. This is where you do almost all the configurations. Okay, if you see the create file general tab, it is showing the file name. Okay, it says create file. You can change the name as per whatever you wish. You can change the name, and it is asking for the file name. So this activity is creating a file, right? So what is the file name that you want to give? Basically, you want to let us say I want to create a new folder. Okay, so new folder name is fundamentals. Okay, fundamentals. So this is the folder where I want a file to be created. Let us say now I will take this location. Okay, I'll go to my studio and I'll give this location. In this fundamentals folder, I want to create a file called fund_1.txt. I want to create this file. Okay, fund_1.txt file I want to create. Okay, so this is what we need to provide in the create file. There is nothing more you can provide. More information is not required here. You just need to provide the file name and the file location, whichever you want to create. And if you come to the input tab, here also it is asking for the file name. You can give in either of these places. If you give it here, you don't need to give it in the input tab. Okay. Okay, just try to give this in the input tab only. That is more preferable. Okay, but here I'm giving this and it will show an error. The reason is it says unexpected. It's an XSD string, right? In TIBCO, all the strings should be enclosed in between opening and the closing quotes. Either it can be single quote or a double quote. Now you see, I have given 2 quotes at the end, at the beginning. So now I don't have any error. Okay. Now our create file setup was done. Okay, to run the process or to test this process, if we have multiple options, okay, we have some bug option is here, right? So there is something like a bug. You can click on the drop down and click on the debug configurations. Okay, in the debug configurations, you click on this BusinessWorks application and then click on this drop down BusinessWorks application. Okay, here this is the process. This is fundamentals one is the process we have. Sorry, fundamentals under fundamentals one, process is the name of our process. Okay, so let us say that I want to change the process name to, okay, let me change it to file. Okay, so I'll again click on this debug configuration, and what is the process? What is the process I want to run? File. File is my process. I can click on it. So you see, while debugging, this is called console. Okay, as I said, we will see this console in the debug mode. As I said, right, we have design and debug mode. Design mode is where we develop the code, and debug mode is like when we are debugging the code or when we are running the code in the as the debug configuration. So if you see here, it says the started BW application, right? And if you see more in the console, it is showing you the BusinessWorks activation, TIBCO Active Matrix BusinessWorks, and the version is 6.7.0. Okay, and here if you see started BW application. Okay, so if you come to our process, here the BusinessWorks jobs is a place where you can see the currently running processes or completed processes which were just executed in our studio. Okay, so if you see it, the status here, it says that completed. Okay, so timer is one activity and create file. Okay, so if you see there is a green, the line has turned green, so that means whichever the transition that has turned green, that means it was executed. Okay, if there is an error, it will show in red color. If there is no error and if it's executed successfully, it will show in a green color. Okay, now our file must be created. Okay, fundamentals fund_1.txt is my file. If you see, I go to the fundamentals folder and I can see that file which was created. And if I open the file, it's a blank file, right? There's nothing inside the file. Okay. So this is how the create file works. Okay, so let us say that I will rerun the process. Okay, this is one way we have seen, right? Clicking on the bug icon and debug configuration. There's another way. You can go to the run option in the upper ribbon, top ribbon, and click on this debug configurations. Okay, so if you can run it now, let's see what happens. You see, it says it failed and it says that file already exists, right? File already exists because we have already created the file. So obviously we know that, right? So let us say I want to create a new file here. Let us say it's a text document, and if I want to give fund_1 again, so what is it saying? You want to rename new text document to fund_1 hyphen 2.txt. It is asking, it is prompting us that to give the name as 2 in the braces because same file name was already existing. So this is a common behavior of any operating system, right? So in any folder, you cannot have multiple files with the same name. It says that there is already a file with the same name in this location. So same error, our TIBCO is also throwing for us, right? So we are getting the same error from TIBCO as well. It says that file already exists. Okay. To avoid this error, we have something called in the studio. You can go to the config, in the general tab, we have something called overwrite. Okay, if you click on overwrite, right? So now if you see the time, 18:07, that means around 4 minutes back, this file was created. Now, if we run after clicking on this overwrite option, okay, if you see, now even though the file was present in that location with the same name, we don't have an error now. The file was created successfully. Okay, now if we go back to the location and see the time, it has overwritten the existing file with the same name. That's what we clicked here, right? In the general tab of create file, we click on overwrite. That means if there is already a file existing with the same name in that particular location or a directory, that file will be overwritten with a new name, new file. So these are the options that we have here. Okay, using this create file activity, we can create the folder as well, not just the files. We can create a folder as well. Okay, if you want to create a folder, you can select this is a directory. Okay, and create non-existing directories is another option, which is called, which means create non-existing directories means, let us say that I have given this directory, right? So let us say that I don't have this fundamentals directory. I don't have this directory in my system. Even then, if I click on this create non-existing directories, it will create a folder first, and then it will create a file inside that folder. Okay, that is this option, create non-existing directories. So include timestamp, it will include the timestamp in the file name. Okay, so to get more information of any activity, okay, this is pretty much about the create file. Okay, to get more information about any activity, if you want to explore more about the activity, you can just right click on it and click on help. Okay, there is a reference page available. Okay, it will directly open the web page in the reference online tab in your studio itself. Whereas when it comes to BW5, it will countered a misconfiguration and was unable to complete your request. Okay, something happened and it's not showing. See, now we got it. Okay, so it is showing the information about a create file. Create file is a synchronous activity that creates new files or directories with a specified name. So whatever the name that we have provided, it will create that file or a directory. So if you see, as I said, this override is there. Override is the existing file with the same name, if it already exists. Okay, if the override was not checked, we'll get an error. It will throw an error. So this is what we have seen just now. And is a directory, it will create the direct folder and create non-existent directories. If we don't have that folder, it will create the directory as well. Include timestamp. If we select this to display the timestamp in addition to the date. Okay, so these are the options available in create file. So this is pretty straightforward or simple for you to just go through the concept, or if you want to explore more about each activity. Okay, this is a TIBCO document. Okay, so if you go here, it's a palette reference is there. So each and every activity you can have the information. Okay, so it will just give you the basic idea of what exactly each activity is doing. Okay, it's not just the file activity. Almost all the activities, all the palettes we have, it will just have the basic information about what are all the options we have and what does it mean and all. Let us say if I want to see the HTTP palette, so these are the activities available under HTTP palette, and you can see this, right? HTTP receiver, it will receive the request and it will start the process. So this kind of information, the basic information it will provide. Okay, you can use this option. Since if you are planning to start learning, you can start using this option also. Okay, similarly, now we have created the file. let us say now I want to write some data into the file. Okay, there is a way. Let us say now we have seen a way to add a palette, right? So this is one way. I will use this palette. I will drag and drop. This is another way, and the other way what I prefer to do is, another way I usually prefer is, you can right click anywhere in the process, click on add activity, and go to the palette, whatever you want, you select the activity. Okay, write file is there. Okay, so under write file, it's again the same way. You can provide the file name. Okay, so what is the file name we have? I want to use the same file name so that the data will be written into that file. So write file, so file name. So I'm giving the same file name. So there is a file created here using the create file activity, and into that file I want to write some data. Okay, so this is my content, TIBCO fundamentals from MindMajix. That's it. Okay, that's pretty much about the write file. Okay, you have to provide the file name and what is the content you want to write inside the file. Since we have not stopped the previously running process and we have made some changes, it showed some error. Okay, let me just stop it. That's fine. And go back to the properties tab. Now I have given the file name as well as the file content. Okay, I click on debug configurations. I want to run this. Okay, now everything was executed. You see everything in green, right? So if you go to the file and you see earlier we don't have any size in the file, but if you can see now, it says the file was created just now at 618, and then you can see the size, some 1 KB of data is also available. If you open it and see, you see the data which was TIBCO fundamentals from MindMajix is what we have written in the write file from our studio. Okay, so this is how we use the write file activity. So, and if you can see the general tab of the write file quickly, we can just go overview. Okay, append is there. This means that, let us say our file is already having some data, right? Our file is having some data. Okay, if we click on append, even if you click on that append checkbox, and if we are executing the process multiple times, it will add the new data to the existing data. If you are running it again, it will keep adding it like this. Okay, till it will keep adding the data. If you don't click on the append option, so what will happen is, every time a new data will be created, it will override the existing one. So every time it will clear the existing data and it will insert the new data. Okay, that's about the append option. Okay, so now let's get back to our studio and write as text. Create non-existing directories is same as what we have in create file as well. Okay, and coming to the input tab of write file, you can see something like add line separator, right? Add line separator, as I said, while writing something into the file, if you are writing multiple records, it will add like this. Okay, it will add the data like this in a one after the other. But when you are using this add line separator option, you have to give it as 1 or 0. By default it will take 0. If you want to give add the line separator, you can give 1. Okay, you can give 1, then it will write the data like this. One line, it will write each record in a separate line. For this purpose, we can give the add line separator as 1. So why is it showing an error here? It says that invalid conversion from integer to Boolean. Okay, either you can give Boolean means true or false, right? means true or false. XSD boolean true. Just a second. You can just give one. It's still showing an error. You can just right click here and see show, check, and repair. It says that invalid conversion from integer to boolean and C constructor functions, right? We have something called fix option. You see, XSD boolean and 1. It has converted our integer 1 into boolean, and now we don't have an error. So if you execute this again multiple times, you will see the record or the data inserted in the file in line by line, not everything in a single line. Okay, that is about the cal line separator in write file activity. Okay, so let us say just not to disturb this process, let us say I'll create another process to read the file. BusinessWorks process read file. Okay, so as I said earlier, every process should have a process starter. Okay, if you can see this, must be implemented with a process starter. Okay, for that reason, I'll add one process starter in every process. It will be in general activities and the timer. For me, the timer activity is the starter activity. Timer activity is the starter. So I can drag and drop this plus icon and I'll add one read file activity. Okay, so what is the file I want to read? In the input tab, what is the file I want to read? This is the file, right? From D and fundamentals folder, fund_1.txt is my file name. Okay, just give it. And if I run it, I don't want to run this. I'll just read this, read the existing file. You see, you can see the process got executed, and to see the data of the file, you come to this job data, and input is this file, whatever we have given, and the output of read file is file info and file content. Okay, file info, just see what is the data available in the file info. File info is having what is the full file name and the normal name of the file without the location, and this is the location of the file, size of the file, and when is the time that was modified, date last modified is the date of the file modified, and what is the type of the file. It's a file. Okay, and the content, this is what a read file will have, and this is the content we have inside our file, right? TIBCO fundamentals from MindMajix is the content we have. If I open it, this is the content. So you see that, right? So we are able to read the files from any of the existing location. Okay, so hope you understand the these activities clearly, right? So similar activities, we have some some file activities. You can give a try, right? You can see these activities. The name suggests, okay, create file, copy file. Copy file means it will copy the files from one location to another location. Similarly, remove file means it will remove the file from the location which was specified. Okay, rename file, it will rename the file. And we have something called file polar and all. We'll see that activities in the next sessions. Okay, file polar is there. This is also a starter activity. So we'll see what are the different starter activities we have in TIBCO, and we'll discuss in depth about them. Okay, so hope this session was clear. Practice it, and we'll see in another session. Thanks for joining.